with international Africans in the diaspora from America to Australia to Latin America and Europe. So yeah, as a consequence of all of that, really, is a sort of bit of a background of where I came from, Manchester, and what I'm doing.
That's amazing. You met Nelson Mandela. What was he like as a person?
He was great as a person. Of course, he was very much. I was very much younger. We're talking about in the early 90s, so 40 years ago now. But so he was like a father figure to me.
Mm.
Uh, I'd been I'd been wearing Free Nelson Mandela t-shirts from the late 80s. In
Mm.
fact, I remember the very first time I had one, and I had it hand dyed made in a sort of community workshop, and I put Free Nelson Mandela on my white t-shirt, and I put it on. Oh my God! And I went round. I was doing my shopping, and accosted by people who said he was a terrorist and I should be ashamed
Mm.
to wear the t-shirt and while he was still in jail. So, but when I met him, he was like a father figure, very quiet, very deliberate, very intentional, very courteous. Um, yeah, he was the embodiment of the person that you probably know and love in terms of how
Yeah.
you see him as a statesman, but always willing to give you advice and a hand and you know. But to be honest, I was more impressed with Winnie because that's the
Oh, okay.
because Winnie spoke more my language than
What language is that?
Winnie Mandela was very much a sort of the face of the struggle for those years when Nelson was on Robben Island. So she became, to me at least, the voice of Soweto youth, the voice of black women in suffering at apartheid, and the voice of uh, uh, the sort of whole nation. She was the mother of the nation, wasn't she,
Yeah.
prior to that, and that's why, yes, she was at a special place in my heart. So at that. And
Mm.
later on in life, when I became a mayoral deputy mayor, I facilitated the establishment of a statue in Parliament Square, the first statue of a black man in Parliament Square ever, is Nelson Mandela. So
Yes.
that statue there today
Yeah.
is my project, and he and his wife came over to unveil that.
Wow. Well
We
done.
we worked with Richard Attenborough on the project, and a famous sculptor who was Mandela's favourite. And on the morning, it's the year we won the Olympics. On the morning